All right, I'm going to need you to bear with me. I don't know how this happened. I, was working on various other recordings and projects, and it's somehow become 5 in the morning. But I can't go to sleep without talking about Arminia Bielefeld. Arminia, the Armada, a German club that made it into the semifinals of the DFB Pokal. Okay, and look, I'll be honest. All right, I say that phrase a lot, and I mean it in this moment. I've disrespected the DFB Pokal because you'll hear me talk all the time about the Coupe de France and the insanity that it produces. Maybe a little FA Cup early round madness. Those are the cups that I lock in on. I have never really dialed myself in on the DFB Pokal. It's the German FA Cup for those people that don't know. And Arminia Bielefeld made it all the way to the semifinal, and they didn't just get there on accident. All right, this team beat Union Berlin 2-0, who, by the way, is in the Bundesliga. Freiburg, if I could highlight, I can, 3-1, and Werder Bremen 2-1. That's 3 different Premier League teams. And that stands out because they're 4th in the 3rd division. Arminia Bielefeld is 4th in the 3rd division. I didn't know the DFB Pokal had motion like this. This is motion. This is drama. This is cinema of the absolute variety. I didn't know DFB Pokal was putting teams from the 3rd division all the way in here. What I did know was that Germany has a very healthy kind of 3-league system, great atmosphere, good crowds, good club support, right? But Arminia beating 3 Bundesliga. There's only 18 teams in the Bundesliga. I don't know who the hell the rest of them were playing, but apparently everybody was just lining up to play against Arminia, and they knocked them all off. But by the time you get to the semifinal, you probably think the dream's going to end. And there was more than one reason for them to think that. Because in this semifinal, Arminia Bielefeld, our heroes from right here, they were matched up against the reigning German champions, Xabi Alonso's Bayer Leverkusen. A team, if you might recall, that did not lose a domestic match last year. Didn't happen. They won all of the domestic, they didn't win them all, but they didn't lose any domestic matches. No German team beat them for the entirety of last season. So, yeah, they're kind of good. Maybe they're not quite as good as they were last year, but it's not like that team fell apart. They're still there. They're the closest thing to Bayern Munich in the Bundesliga, and they are, respect due, different gravy than Union Berlin, Freiburg, and Werder Bremen. So, it stands to reason that, considering Bayer Leverkusen scored the first goal in this match against the Armada here, the German Navy, that the match would have been over. But it wasn't. Because Arminia Bielefeld came back and scored 2 goals before halftime. And they hung on to it to win the game 2-1 at home. They held on the entire second half, even though Victor Boniface came in. Obviously, you're expecting, even though it's on the road against a 3rd division team in the semifinal, to be able to win without actually having to wear out Victor Boniface and subbing him in this situation. They sub him in anyways. And then a team that is famous for scoring late goals in Bayer Leverkusen can't find one. And all of a sudden, they're out. And when you look at the DFB Pokal, there's basically no one left. The other semifinal is Stuttgart and RB Leipzig. Now, those are 2 good teams. Those are 2 of the top 6 teams in Germany. But they already beat the second best one. They beat the best team left. Bayer Leverkusen's better than both of these teams. This semifinal going to happen today when this video is coming out, April 2nd. Might have already happened by the time that you're watching this. And the winner has Arminia Bielefeld waiting for them. And there's obviously a lot of dynamics that go into that. Let's not ignore the fact that if you're a Stuttgart or RB Leipzig fan, you're fucking thrilled at this result. Are you kidding me? Bayer Leverkusen just got smited by a team from the 3rd division, but be careful what you wish for. Okay, look, I don't know why Arminia Bielefeld is 4th in the 3rd division. What I do know is that reading the match report of this game, I wasn't able to watch it. I was busy. I was co-streaming with Stans, actually, playing Schedule 1 and cooking up some drugs. So you can check the streams out for that if you want. But I didn't actually have the opportunity to win this or to watch this match. People were just coming in the chat and telling me that it was happening. Reading the match report, right? Watching the highlights back later and looking at the stats, this is the Arminia side. They had more XG. They weren't significantly outpossessed. They weren't significantly outshot, and they created 4 big chances to Leverkusen's 1. This is, by most, if not all metrics, a deserved win for Arminia Bielefeld, a team 4th in the 3rd division against the 2nd best team in Germany this year and the best team in Germany last year. That's stunning. This type of performance in particular is a victory of properly running a football league. It really is. Like, when you have teams that are able to put together a side in the 3rd division that can step out there for a game and do something like this, that means that you have a healthy football pyramid. And I think there have been a lot of signs, not only in Germany, but also in France, that there is a healthy football pyramid that's encouraging a lot of teams to be competitive. That's what I mean by a healthy football pyramid, right? Money's trickling down, becoming available. Even though some teams at the top obviously run into financial issues, particularly in France, money's trickling down and opportunities are abound for these sorts of teams to make an impact. And opportunities are abound for these sorts of teams to make an impact. And they're making an impact. Because Arminia Bielefeld just beat the best team left. And I talked about it from the Stuttgart's and RB Leipzig's point of view, but fuck that, honestly. This standing, I want to try and figure out how many teams get promoted. I wonder if I can find that. It's 2 teams in a playoff, which means right now Arminia Bielefeld, with, I believe, 8 matches left to play, is on the outside of any promotion picture looking in. But they are 1 match away from the Europa League. That's what you get in. If you win the DFB Pokal, you're playing in Europe next year, which is teeing us up for an all-time European run from a team that is hard stuck D3 in Germany, playing in European competition. I, for one, vote in favor of that. I don't even know what that would look like. But it's a very real possibility now. Like, before the Leverkusen match, it wouldn't have even been worth talking about, right? There's no way they're going to beat Leverkusen. Well, they fucking did. Now here they are. 1 90-minute match away from the final. Sorry. It really is 5. 1 90-minute match away from Europe. Do you go to play on the team just to be able to play in Europe? They're going to be able to. It'll probably get them promoted, because you'll be able to assemble a super team of players in the 3rd division because they want to go play in the Europa League. It's like a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for them. And the real question is, how does a 3rd division German team stack up against, league winners, league 2nd and 3rd place teams from countries like Greece and Sweden, right, that you're going to be running into in the Europa League? Jose Mourinho and Fenerbahce showing up in the 3rd division of Germany. The atmosphere at Arminia Bielefeld, which I remember the match report in particular, and you can see it in the highlights, talked about how impressive the atmosphere was, and the crowd got behind the team. And I'm sure that was a big contributing factor to them being able to win this match over Bayer Leverkusen in the first place. All of that would be awesome. And all of this is to say, 1, this happened. And we love a cup upset on this channel, so of course we're going to mention it. And 2, we're all Arminia Bielefeld. It's nothing against RB Leipzig or Stuttgart. It isn't. But there's only one team where if they win, it's an all-time sporting story that then creates another all-time sporting story on the other side of it. How many times does that happen? You have an all-time sporting story in winning the trophy and bringing that to your club in the 3rd division. And then the qualification creates a whole nother year of absolute cinema. And what am I here for? What am I up at 5 a.m. talking about the DFB Pokal semifinal for? If not for the faint hope that I'm going to be able to watch a team in the 3rd German division try to figure out how to register players for Europe and play European matches midweek while trying to play a congested 38-match schedule in the 3rd division. That's what I'm here for. That's what I signed up for. I shot out of the womb going, please, Arminia Bielefeld, please. And they might finally answer my call. Thank goodness.